affect the experience is like, but there's so many tiny nuances to the journey that we rarely get the time to go into in great detail. But you know, there's the thrill of riding a rocket, even getting up to space, and that's wild, like absolutely wild. Riding a rocket feels like riding a rocket, so it's fairly incomparable. But then what comes next is pure silence. There's no sound in space. It's just you, your crewmates, your spaceship, and a window, unless you're so lucky to spacewalk, which not I, but one day. And some of the best advice I got before going up was make sure you're completely open, because you don't know what to expect. You know, oftentimes you enter situations and you think you know what's going to happen and you're completely blown away, or you completely miss the opportunity to be blown away because you had such ingrained, rooted perspectives of what you thought was going to happen that you missed the point of what could have happened to you. And so going to space open, saying like, I don't know what's going to happen, I'm just going to look, I'm going to be, and we're going to see what comes next. And my first reaction when I looked out the window and saw our planet was, whoa. I think the words came out of my mouth uttered, you can see so far. And I don't know what I expected, but when you get to go to space and you look out of the window and you see the Earth, like there's a lot of firsts that are happening. You've never seen anything quite this large because it's, you know, it's a planet that we live on. You've never seen quite this far because you can literally see over the typical horizon. And you're seeing the other side of the sky. And all these things, there's no words for these things in the moment. It's just feeling, perception, and just nuance. But I felt like multiple versions of myself. So I was having self-cognitive dissonance. There was a version of myself that knew exactly what was happening because there was a timeline and we had a job to do and there was things you had to be paying attention to. And that person was in the back seat, you know, freaking out. Like, all right, don't forget you gotta do this, this, and this, this, and this. And the person in the front seat was just like, you guys seeing this? And it's weird being that same person at the same time, but not realizing it. I'll close with this. There's a lot we can go into. I'll just talk to you guys more in detail afterwards. But in the spacecraft that I flew in, the spaceship's called VSS Unity, Virgin Spaceship Unity, which is very poetic. I love what it represents in terms of coming together. But in the back of the spacecraft, there's a mirror for you to be able to see yourself and kind of see the reflection out the windows of the spacecraft. And it's this really crazy meta experience. You know, as I'm floating weightless through the cabin, not believing that I am in space myself as I'm actively in space. Like, both versions of myself are like, there's no way this is really happening. That's not real, I don't know what it is. And then I remember floating from one side of the cabin to the other, and I saw myself in the mirror doing the thing I couldn't believe I was doing. And I had this self-internal, externalized validation that like created a third version of myself to layer on top of the two versions of myself who already didn't know each other but both lived inside my head. That's what it's like to go to space.